Fermanagh are in the building. Just as I start to talk, the tannoy over the stadium here at Father Tierney Park is threatening to drown me out. I hope you can still hear me, but they are announcing the same as we are, and that is the teams for this Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge Cup final. And this is the Corn Tom Hogan, and it is the Cup final named after the 19-year-old from Limerick who was killed on Bloody Sunday. So that is the Corn Tom Hogan, and not to be confused with Michael Hogan, who of course was famously killed on that day as well, and the Hogan stand named after him. This is Tom Hogan. So Fermanagh out on the pitch and ready in the beautiful weather here in Ballyshannon. Where else would you want to be in the world on a day like this but Donegal? And we are here for this, and not only is it great weather, we have an amazing pitch surface here. It's an absolute delight. Now I know if you're watching on your phone or laptop you mightn't quite be able to appreciate it as much, but certainly hurlers anywhere would appreciate it when I tell you that it's been worked on for 2-3 years. Prunty involved. The grass is some kind of synthetic partly, and it's just a dream, I think, for hurling. The surface looks absolutely perfect for hurling, so a great location here in more ways than one. And we also have Paul Tague with us as well, who is on COCOM and knows this venue very well and this club. But Paul, when you played, you didn't have a pitch like that, you didn't have a carpet like that, did you?
No, we did not, Jerome. It's fantastic. This surface is probably perfect for hurling. It's a nice length, be perfect for the boys to play on, so hopefully it'll help the game today.
And what was it like when you played here? There's a few pitches here, of course, but I'm not saying the pitch would have been terrible years ago, but just this standard is incredible now.
I remember the stand side there was a bit of a dip between the 65s. I remember that's gone. So it's the pitch is absolutely perfect, and the conditions are perfect for hurling today.
But even back in the day, Croke Park's pitch was a bit like that as well in parts, before they sorted that out. Now that's gone back about 30 years, but this is just so level. I mean, they talked about maybe the left corner here being a bit of a dip, but not anymore. They've really sorted it out, and I don't know how I've managed to avoid this venue for so many years, but I've been really, really impressed. The welcome, the people here, the infrastructure, ever since the moment we came through the gate, it's just been outstanding, and it is a terrific club, and you do know it well.
I do. I played here for a number of years myself, transferred from my home club, Lissansky Emmets, to Area. Played for a couple of seasons, so great memories here.
We've only one team out though, and Leitrim arrived a little bit late, whatever that was. I know that was billed as 1 o'clock, but it's definitely 1:45, so it starts in 3 minutes time, so we're waiting for Leitrim to come out. So let's have a look at the teams first of all, and we'll go to the Fermanagh team since they are out on the pitch. And Paul, you will know these boys an awful lot better than me, so feel free to talk us through the team, who are managed by Cyril Dunn, and he's also got Luke Dempsey in there, and Colin McPhillips and Eamon Palmer and Paul Rafferty. But if you could just give us a wee bit of a talk through the team. I see it's Connolly more or less up the middle there.
Yeah, so in goals we have Joey Britton from Benlilek, cornerback Mike Cleary from Lisbalaw, fullback is Conor McGorry from Knockschrattons, the other cornerback is James Kelly from Benlilek. Half-back line is Owen McManus from Knockschrattons. In the middle is Ronan Brennan, he's also the team captain. He is from Connolly. Oisin Morris is the other half-back, he's from Benlilek. Our midfield pairing is Ben Palmer and Joe McGoldrick. Ben is from Benlilek and Joe is from Knockschrattons. The half-forward line is Dan O'Connor from Benlilek, Cormac McGreevy from Connolly and James Tierney from Enniskillen, and our full forward line is Donal O'Connor from Lisbalaw.
Who's a cousin, you were telling me?
Yeah, he's first cousins of Dan, and full forward is Matthew Ferguson, and there's Sean McCaherty in the other corner.
And the first man on the YouTube live chat is Gary McGreevy, super excited dad waiting patiently. So that's Cormac's dad.
That seems to be Cormac's dad, yeah.
Nearly there, Gary, nearly there. And Jack Doyle is watching as well. So a few messages coming on there. Eddie, the Irish gamer, is it? Says come on Fermanagh. So feel free to leave a message there on the live chat and the YouTube. GAA official YouTube channel, and we'll keep an eye on that. And actually there is one change, of course. I should mention that for Fermanagh team. We should have mentioned that at the start actually. Sean McCaffrey is not starting. It's 21 in there, Aidan Maguire, who is from Nave Aidan, which is Derry Lynn. So that's one change in the Fermanagh team, number 21, Aidan Maguire. So let's go on and look at the Leitrim team then. And these are all lads from Carrick and Manor Hamilton. You were telling me, I take it you don't know these guys as well.
I would know these guys as well, no. Might have faced them maybe in my coaching career in the last couple of years, but I wouldn't know them that well at all.
But it's interesting, they're just really from two areas.
Seems to be two clubs involved there, yeah. Whereas Fermanagh, Fermanagh have made great strides over the last number of years with their development. Lisbon obviously being the stalwart club in Fermanagh, and a lot of work has gone on underage to bring basically from one club to 8 clubs now.
But it's interesting with Leitrim that they are 2 clubs. I mean, I find that interesting that they're maybe focusing on that one area, and maybe that works for them. And this competition is very adaptable, very flexible, and it means that they can do that. So maybe it'll works better for them. I mean, they've got to the final.
Yeah, well, I think Carrick and Manor Hamilton will be traditionally the 2 strong clubs in Leitrim anyway. So there seems to be a lot of work going on in Leitrim as well, though. So hopefully they can build on that, maybe get more under-18 units up and going.
Now they met earlier in the competition, certainly if I'm reading the results right, and it was Leitrim 210, Fermanagh 11 points. Is that correct? Did I read that right?
Yes, I think so.
So Leitrim won the last time.
Leitrim won the last time. I was chatting to the Fermanagh management team during the week, and they said it was a very close game. They said that there was a puck of the ball between them. Fermanagh went up the field and had a chance to get a goal and go up by, I think it was a point. The ball was pucked 80 metres down the other end of the pitch, and Leitrim got a goal and won by 5. So hopefully we're in for a similar game today, a nice close tight game. Should be an interesting contest. So
what they're saying is really that 5 points could have been 1 point, could have been 2 points. They're not that far away, which is good. It sounds like it could be a really close contest.
Hopefully, and the Leitrim hurling's on the crest of a wave at the minute. They won the under 20C All-Ireland Championship last weekend on penalty, so they're riding the crest of a wave, and obviously it's a big weekend for Fermanagh hurling as well, with the senior guys in action in Croke Park tomorrow, so Fermanagh will be looking to make it a championship double this weekend.
Absolutely. I don't see Leitrim coming out yet, so we're not going to start at 1:45. In fact, maybe it's just gone past 1:45, so this is going to be a little bit delayed. And of course we have a second game here, Tyrone against Sligo at 2:45, which we will also be live streaming. And this is now leading to the management of Fermanagh calling the players in, because he's looked around and seen, well, Leitrim aren't on the pitch yet. So he's saying, come on in, lads, don't be wasting too much energy out there, because these lads are nowhere near being ready for the start of the game. By the way, the referee is James Callaghan from Donegal. Gives us a time. Oh, here they come in the yellow jerseys. There come the opposition now from Leitrim, managed by Peter Reynolds with Niall McLaughlin and Ulcan Conway. It just gives me a chance to talk about the Ballyshannon setup here again. As I say, you're very familiar with it, Paul, and they were telling me before the game there's a few Antrim connections here, because the scoreboard away over to our left is directly from Casement Park. They bought it and transported it across the country from Casement Park, and the sand that they used in developing this new pitch is from Lough Neagh. Now, it's not just Antrim around Lough Neagh, but partly, so I'm going with the Antrim thing anyway, but the sand is different. And you think about sand and you think, Donegal, what do they need sand for? But it's a different kind of sand. It's like taking coal in Newcastle, but it's a different kind of sand that they get in Lough Neagh, and that's what they've used. So that's really incredible detail that they've gone into, isn't it, you know?
As we've talked about the surface already, and even just the general setup of Ballyshannon is fantastic. They've done a lot of fantastic work over the last number of years, and it's reaped the rewards today, holding these games here, and they should be proud of themselves as a club for their setup here. It's fantastic.
It really is, and that's, you know, what I noticed when I came in, and when you think about things like going into that kind of detail, I'm not surprised, knowing the likes of Tom Daly and Michael Daly and people like that around the place, that they go into that sort of detail, and they really do it. If they do it, they're going to do it right. Now the captains are out in the middle for the toss. Fermanagh over to our right are doing a few gentle last warm-ups. Leitrim not so much over to our left. They're just pucking a few balls about, but the captains are over there with James Callaghan. So Ronan Brennan is the captain of Fermanagh, and the Leitrim captain, I actually don't know which one is the Leitrim captain. I'll wait to see his number when he turns around in a minute. And they have awards at the end of this game, by the way, not just the cup, the Corn Tom Hogan Cup, but there's also a best and fairest award. So that's a variation, you could say, on the player of the match award, but not necessarily for the best player. So what do you feel, Paul, about the intentions and things like that around this particular competition?
Well, the Celtic Challenge was set up 9 years ago. Fermanagh actually were the only team not in it in the initial phase, and they joined the year after. It's basically set up to develop hurling in the Dublin-Galway line, as they call it, and it gives these young fellas a chance to play in a meaningful competition. It gives them games, and that's what they need to develop hurling, north of that Dublin-Galway line.
When you say Dublin-Galway line, could you just explain that to people who don't know what that means?
Basically, Martin Fogarty drew a line from Dublin to Galway and said north of that is, he called it a desert, a hurling desert, a barren place for hurling, predominantly football, and he basically said that we need to kind of grow the game in that particular area. So the Celtic Challenge was set up. It's set up for all the counties in Ireland, but particularly counties like Leitrim and Fermanagh, which need development and need games, and it's games that these young players need. So the Celtic Challenge was set up for that.
Well, Jarlath Burns in his notes in the programme says that this is a vital part of the GAA commitment to hurling, an important stepping stone between Féile and minor. It's for boys who don't make minor panels, and there are 6 finals this weekend, so very innovative and developmental.
Well, you see the Fermanagh senior hurlers are playing in the Larry Maher Cup final tomorrow. There's 14 players on that senior hurling team that played in the Celtic Challenge in the last 7 years, so it shows that there's a pathway from Celtic Challenge, to go to your club to play senior hurling for your club, and then to go to inter-county seniors as well. So it shows those boys there's a path there.
That's really, really cool, isn't it? 14. That's amazing.
14 players.
But I suppose it varies from county to county. If you're in Kilkenny, trying to get on the minor panel at all must be so cutthroat, so difficult. But they could maybe field 4 teams, but they can field 4 teams in this sort of competition.
They can, yeah.
Whereas the likes of these counties here, it's a matter of them getting more competitive games and regular games, I guess, at a good level.
That's what it's all about, and it gives games is what players need to get better and to better themselves. So this is what this competition gives.
Nearly ready for the start then, and I can update you on the captains. You may have seen it in the shots there, but Leitrim sent in 2 captains, their goalkeeper Oran Smith and number 3 Killian White, and I see their number 4 Owen McLaughlin has gone straight to midfield, as has the 14 Isaac Conway Russell. So off we go then. James Callaghan throws the ball in, and we are off and running with Fermanagh playing from right to left as you and I are looking at it, and they are on the attack right away. That is their number 12 James Tierney in Father Tierney Park, but it doesn't reach, and it's easily taken by the joint captain of Leitrim, Oran Smith. But here comes Tierney again, and will he get the first score in Father Tierney Park? He puts it in instead to Dlancy, and Dlancy is trying to get something on that, but that's good stout defending by the other vice captain, the fullback Killian White, and there's a few swings of hurls in there, but eventually is it going to come out? It might be cleared, and indeed, and that's a good, well, I thought it was a good clearance actually, because it was across field, but it went over the head of his opponent or his teammate, though the wind looked like it was taking it out, but when it bounced it didn't gather any momentum, so he was able to keep it in. This is Dan O'Connor, number 10, being chased down, I see, by 24. We'll update you on him in a second, but there's more danger here for Leitrim at the back. They have a bit more defending to do. You see the scoreboard there now in the background that I was telling you about, as Tierney goes for the first score, and that's well saved. Great goalkeeping by Oran Smith. I thought that was bound to be the first score. I was lining up another mention of Father Tierney Park, but eventually that has gone, is that inside? It's gone outside the post, and that was a 21 for Fermanagh, who we were telling you about, Aidan Maguire, who did start the game. And I also noticed there at 24 for Leitrim, that's Nathan Cox, so he is under the dropping ball here, doesn't quite connect on it though. That's their midfielder Donica Dlancy, and Leitrim having to do a lot of defending in the first few minutes. But just to update you again on that, 24 Nathan Cox from Carrick, and he is in for Leitrim from the start of the game, and I'll see if there's any other changes as we go on. And that's the player actually nearest the ball from Leitrim at the moment. But Ronan Brennan, the captain from Connolly, takes that, and it only connects with the boss of the hurl of a couple of players there, one of them being Nathan Cox, and it's another sideline ball. But looks like it's going to be a tough day for Leitrim, Paul, the way things are going. Fermanagh have started well, and they're putting all the pressure on, and I don't think it's just down to the wind.
Fermanagh started really well. Lots of intensity in the forwards there. The ball just not sticking with Cormac, who's moved into full forward there. So
Cormac McGreevy.
So
that's Donica Higgins, number 6, trying to clear it. Good pressure from Fermanagh, though. They're not letting Leitrim get out, but Aaron Gallagher is doing his best now. But again, as I say, Fermanagh putting pressure on them. They've 2 or 3 men around the ball every time, and this is now Joe McGoldrick, and that's Brennan again, driving it into the forwards. Even enough contest so far, though, even though it's mainly been territorially in the left hand side. So I'll bring you in a second here, but with hurling it's hard to bring the co-commentators in. Sometimes the ball can just fly up the pitch, and then we're into a different phase. That's good defending by Mike Cleary from Lisbon, and sends it back in again. Leitrim having a lot of work to do in there, and is that 18 I think I see on the back there? It's hard to see in the high midday sun here, but I think that was 18 for Leitrim, and if that is Roigai, Regon. I think it's Regon Joy from Carrick. This is Cormac McGreevy. As you said, he's moved into full forward, has come out a little bit, and eventually it's Dan O'Connor, and that's good blocking down as well. Leitrim have started defending really well, though, haven't they? They're under pressure, but they're coping well.
Yes, Leitrim have kind of got the grips a wee bit with Fermanagh there, and they're starting to get on the ball and move it up the field. So still no score, so both teams will be looking to get on the board very soon to settle them down.
And what way is that breeze going? Is it coming across from right to left?
It seems to be slightly in favour of Fermanagh. It seems to be slightly in favour of Fermanagh. It's coming across the field, heading towards the stand, kind of coming up from the sea, up the Air Estuary there, and coming into the pits that way.
You do know this area. 19 is in for Leitrim there, I see as well, by the way. We didn't get these changes before the game. I'm spotting them now. So 19, James Cullen is starting at right corner forward for them. This is Aaron Gallagher, and he puts it in there, looking for Ryan Dlancy, but doesn't get that far. And it's cleared into midfield, and first on it is Tierney. He's been lively, as has the number 10 there, Dan O'Connor. He's seen a lot of ball as well, but not a score yet. Could be one here, though. Keeper has to watch that. Oh, and is it going into the net? Or is it just gone over the bar? It was just up in that corner. Trying to watch it here again, and that was a tricky one. Well, that is the first score of the game, and he's done well, in there in goals to pop that over, and also to make that save a few minutes ago. But I suppose it was only a matter of time before Fermanagh's pressure told, and that's Oisin Morris putting it in there. And now this could be the second score, and it is Tierney, but it's gone to the right and it's gone wide. So 1 point to no score for Fermanagh, but could have been a bit more. But Leitrim have defended well. Now this one coming out, but it's gone straight to Donald O'Connor, but he's not able to take it. And on the break, that's good play by Owen McLaughlin, who started in midfield. Don't be fooled by the number 4 jersey. And this man started in midfield as well. That's Isaac Conway Russell. That's a midfield partnership, 4 and 14 for Leitrim, and they've both worked well there. And there goes a hurl flying, but Fermanagh partly through that, have managed to get the ball back, I think. Nope. Leitrim are going to get it here, are they? Pressure on the ball. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get up? Fermanagh favourites here, but lots of yellow jerseys chasing him. But that's great determined play by Aidan Maguire from Nave Aidan. And that challenge going in there was illegal, and you heard the ooh from Paul Tigg just before the decision was given, and that was a bit reckless. But it was good play by Maguire to get free there, wasn't it? Good
determination from Aidan Maguire to get on the ball. It came out on the wing here, he lifted it nice and clean and made a nice burst down the wing, and won his free. Bit of a rash challenge, but I suppose it's early days. It takes players a wee minute to settle in and get used to the flow of the game.
He's brought that free back quite a bit, though, hasn't he? Was there maybe a foul initially? Is that it?
He could have been playing advantage, although I didn't see his arm up, but
he struck it well from distance, and I think that's coming in. Is it just in enough? That's a beautiful strike, isn't it?
Fantastic score. Fantastic free. Good way to settle the free taker down is to always nail your first one.
Dan O'Connor that was, and didn't bother him at all that it was a little bit further back than we thought. Maybe it suited him, but he connected absolutely beautifully and judged whatever wind was there. But I don't think it's anything really that would bother a free taker. It's 2 points to 0 now for Fermanagh, and Ronan Brennan, the captain, has been very prominent there in the centre half back area. He's won every ball that's come in there and sent it back in, and that's one of the reasons why the pressure is on the Leitrim defence. But Leitrim now get a little bit of relief. They've got a free, and actually the full back, Killian White, looks like he's coming up to take this, so he's a big unit, isn't he? He's obviously looking to put this in and around the goal mouth.
He was their danger man the last time the two teams played. It was his long range free that dropped in the box, and Leitrim got a goal out of it that beat Fermanagh the last time they played, so they'll be hoping for a similar outcome.
That would explain why Fermanagh have so many men back there, so they're aware of that threat. That's dropping a little bit short, in and around the 20. But yeah, so I can understand how they got a goal out of that the last time. But Fermanagh, as I say, will be alive to that one on this occasion. That one's broken kindly though, or has it? That's the 24 in there that I was telling you about, Nathan Cox for Leitrim. And that's well taken. It's a lovely little bit of play in close quarters. And it comes out to Maguire again. There's another hurl. God, that's his hurl, so he just boots it. Is it going to stay in? It does stay in. This is Tierney. He's come over to this side. He's done a lot of good work over the other side. And off goes Dan O'Connor again. That's a lovely little run by him. And he's got in behind and he's got away from his man. And it should at least be a point, but he goes for goal. He wasn't satisfied with that. Doesn't get it. Maybe he would have been better taking the point at this stage. But here's Tierney again. He just drops the ball at the vital moment. And that's good, strong play again. Was that the fullback again? I think it was. It was indeed White who defended on that occasion. The little fella, the number 14, Matthew Ferguson, trying to get a shot away. And this is Dan O'Connor again in there. Goes to ground, but referee says nothing doing. And it comes out to 26 for Leitrim, and we don't have a 26 unless you had a team sheet. No, we don't have a 26, so I'm sorry, we don't know who the 26 is, but he's out there as well for Leitrim. So obviously a few late changes. Ben Palmer has put it in and around the house and maybe over the bar. Let's wait for the umpire's decision. No, I think that was, yes, a wide ball. Fermanagh arguably, Paul, should be further ahead.
They've had 3 wides there in the first half. They've created a one goal scoring opportunity, but that was well blocked. So Fermanagh on top at the minute.
Would he been better going for the goal or the point, do you think? He went for the goal?
He could have popped it over, but goals win games, so you don't blame him for going for it.
Absolutely not. Good defending again though from White. Clears his lines, but only briefly, you feel, don't you?
It seems inevitable that Fermanagh's going to score again at some point, but if, in fairness, Fermanagh have defended well. Ronan Brennan, you've mentioned him, Jerome, he's swept up round the middle. He's all over the kind of between the 65 and the 45, trying to get on the ball and make things happen, so he's having a big say in the game so far.
So you're watching this game on the official GAA YouTube channel. It is free to watch, and that is just right too. And that one flies straight over the bar. That was superb, wasn't it?
Fantastic sideline cut. That's great skill. Great skill, fantastic score.
Well, we're at a development level here, but if you're at a higher level, you would be applauding that, wouldn't you?
That was fantastic.
And that, in a way, sort of sums up to me what these sort of competitions are about. There's lads like that who mightn't be able to showcase themselves on different stages or whatever county they're in, but they're able to do that in a day like this in an All-Ireland final. That's fantastic. Because sometimes you get maybe counties where there's like 3 or 4 class players, but they maybe don't have the team around them, but they certainly are brilliant players. Well,
it gives these players a chance to showcase what they can do on the biggest stage. Like, this would be the biggest game for a lot of these players' young careers, so it definitely gives them a chance to showcase what they can do.
Just checking on the live chat there and all the messages coming in. Thanks for those. We will read them as we go on throughout the afternoon, but a big crowd already watching the game there. And here comes Matthew Ferguson from Connolly. Off he goes, smallest man on the pitch, but showing plenty of big heart, and he puts the ball over the bar, and that's a tremendous little piece of skill there from the full forward, wasn't it?
Took primary possession in his hands straight away, turned his defender, borned him for pace and stuck it over. Fantastic score.
So McGreevy's gone in there on McLaughlin, hasn't he? That's more of a match size-wise than Ferguson would be, but Ferguson with a lovely score there. And this now is Tierney 4 points to nil now for Fermanagh. They're starting to turn the screw, certainly on the scoreboard, after all the possession that they have had in the early stages. That's a dangerous looking one, and it needs to be defended, and it is defended well. Referee has his hand up for advantage. Good advantage given, and then the free for Leitrim, and it's been a tough first quarter or so for them in the heat here in Ballyshannon, but they'll be reasonably pleased, I think, given the way the game has gone, that they're only 4 points down at this point, but they'll need to carry a little bit of a threat as the game goes on. White drills it up into the middle, but it's beautifully taken for Fermanagh in the middle, and this is Joe McGoldrick. I think the catch was by Tierney. He's already one I've earmarked as possibly one of the danger players, and off he goes again. Lovely skill from him, and he goes for his own score. And has he got it? We'll wait for the decision, but the crowd like it, and indeed the umpire likes it. It really is brilliant, and that's James Tierney in Father Tierney Park with a terrific score, Paul.
Fantastic score. Won his own ball, didn't give up on it, and stuck it over from about 40 metres. So fantastic score.
Fermanagh coming again, 5 points to the good. And this is McGreevy. It's not McGreevy, it's Dan O'Connor. He went for goal once, he goes for goal twice, doesn't get it though. And the goalkeeper, the vice captain Smith, does well again, and there he's been a busy man. And you feel, Paul, do you, that the more that Leitrim don't concede goals, the more they're going to stay in this game?
Well, Fermanagh have had 2 goal chances there. They've kept them out, but Leitrim will be looking to get a score on the board now very shortly, because it'll settle them down into the game.
Absolutely, but they just don't seem to have much of a threat up there. They've only really got up that end once or twice, and Fermanagh have been organised and strong back there, and this is Owen McManus. Does well, and again they win it every time it goes up there, and they send it back in again, so Leitrim up against it. And that one again looks like it's going to be defended by the same man, Owen McManus from Knox Grattans, and he does well. Fires it down into that corner looking for Ferguson, who's growing in confidence. 2 men around him, but he looks tricky and he looks confident, and he's enjoying himself out there. That's a ridiculous angle. Is it O'Connor? He's not going for a score from there, is he? That would be ridiculous. Well, I don't know if it was a pass or not, but it went wide. Remains 5 points to no score. It's so sunny here, it's hard to see the scoreboard on our own monitor here, but I can see now I've put something over to shade it. It's coming up to the end of the first quarter, and Leitrim without a score, 5 points down. Not an awful lot in hurling, but they will need to carry a little bit more threat going forward. But Fermanagh winning most of the exchanges around the field, aren't they?
Fermanagh are dominating in the middle of the field. That's given them a platform to attack and to keep the pressure on Leitrim. Leitrim just can't really get out, bar a few frees. So Fermanagh will be looking to build on this. Leitrim will be looking to settle down and get the ball into the forward so they can maybe pick up a score or two.
Just to clarify for people maybe new to this or wondering what it is, these are under 17s, so these lads are all 16 and 17 years old, and it's really a stepping stone, as Charlotte said in the programme, for them to carry through to the likes of under 20 and senior, and they're getting to play in the county jersey.
Well, that's it, and as I said before the game started, it gives them a platform. They see a pathway from Celtic Challenge to senior inter-county hurling, so for a team and for a county like Fermanagh, this is crucial to the development of hurling. That's
gone well to the right. It's going to stay in though. And it breaks, and it's taken by Tierney, who goes low. They are certainly going for goal today. They haven't got it, but you feel it's a matter of time. Palmer puts it in, and this time goes for a point, but doesn't get it. They certainly have an eye for goal, don't they? And as you say, why not?
Well, that could come from the management. Get the goals, kill the game early. So that's what the boys seem to be doing, maybe.
Well, they didn't get a goal the last time they played Leitrim, so maybe that's part of it as well. But they were beaten on that day, 2-10 to 11 points. And as you say, they were caught by a goal. Now, tough challenge coming in there, and that is a foul by Oisin Morris on Donica Glancy. But it was good, determined, brave play by Glancy for Leitrim to go up the line here, but it seems like every time they try to go forward, there's at least 2 Fermanagh men on them.
Fermanagh are definitely stopping that runner coming through. That's maybe something that's came from the training ground, is stopping those deep runs from half back midfield.
So this is Killian White, who you've already seen come out around this area. This is a little bit further forward than the last one. He's against the wind, the wind that there is. Would you fancy him from this one? Could he put this over, do you think, or is that asking a bit much?
He has the ability, so let's see what he can do.
I think he could nearly hear us, so we'll keep our voices down. Yeah, he gives it a good dig. No, it's going to go in and around there. Now, if Leitrim can get on the break here, but Fermanagh have been very sharp in all the breaks. That looked like a little bit of a nudge by the fullback there, but the referee says no, it's a wide ball. And Fermanagh survive there and keep Leitrim scoreless. The goalkeeper is Joey Britton from Ballyshannon. Puts it out looking towards Brennan. And it was Palmer who went up for it as well. Fermanagh, as I say, winning most of the breaks. They're very sharp, and that's good play by McGoldrick. A little pirouette by him to keep possession. This is Morris. And they always have a player over as well, and now it comes into the half-forward area. That's Donald O'Connor, rather, first cousin of Dan, the number 10. That's a lovely pass as well, and he is now in behind. Tierney doesn't go for a goal this time. He just takes his point and makes it 6 points each. And after Leitrim got up the field, Fermanagh just put them back in their box there, didn't they?
Good defending. Fermanagh didn't give up on it in the middle of the field. Fantastic pass from Donald O'Connor to his cousin Dan, and nice finish from Dan.
How important is the county jersey thing, wearing the county jersey and representing your county here, do you think?
It's massive. It gives these young lads a chance to wear a Fermanagh jersey. Some of these lads maybe without the Celtic Challenge would never get that opportunity. So it gives them that, and it also gives them maybe a wee sense of purpose in their young lives, coming out and training every week, and it brings a certain amount of discipline to your life, and they can carry that into their adulthood as well. Well,
when you played hurling, did you have as many regular competitive games at a good level as this? I mean, these lads played in the round robin, and they had 3 games, 3 weekends in a row, and then you have a quarter-final, semi-final and a final.
We played in the old format, the All-Ireland Minor format, would have been All-Ireland Minor B, which we were lucky enough to win back in 2009. But we wouldn't have got the same amount of games as these young lads get. We would have had your Ulster B Championship, which is maybe 3 or 4 games, and then maybe 3 in the All-Ireland series, and that was it. So these guys get lots of games, and that's what they need to get better.
And they're well organised games. They're not just any old game. The competition is well run.
It's a fantastic competition. Like you see today, there's a sense of razzmatazz about it. It's a final. It's been live streamed. There's a good crowd here, a good atmosphere, and that's what the young lads need.
There actually is a big crowd here. I'm just looking over to my right now, and a lot of people must have come in quite late. Maybe they thought it was 1 o'clock, but over to my right here, there's a lot of people who have come in for this game. So yes, a lot of interest in it, and the lads will be loving the chance here to play on this superb pitch in this competition, as you say, live stream, but also the chance to get a little bit of glory in the county jersey as well, and there's a lot to be said for that. At the moment, it's looking like Fermanagh are favourites to win this Corn Tom Hogan Cup. They're certainly playing very well in this first half, and Palmer gets it out to Dan O'Connor. They haven't had a goal yet, but that's primarily because the 2 captains for Leitrim are doing very well. That's the fullback and the goalkeeper, and they have been very busy so far, but they have held out certainly goal-wise. This is Aidan Maguire up against 3-4 players, and he's overcarried in the end. And nice bit of applause there from the Leitrim dugout in front of us. They appreciated that. So a little bit of encouragement for Leitrim. And Paul, do you feel that Leitrim need to sort of stay in touch here? There's 6 points in it, but they need to get the next score, or certainly make sure that there's not a goal or not a collapse here before half time.
They definitely need the next score, and they also definitely can't concede a goal. Or they'll definitely be in a bit of trouble.
So the referee coming over, James Callahan, is that Gus Chapman? I think it is, from Sligo, who's on the line here, and he's reported one of the players, and it's the number 8 for Leitrim, Dominic Atlancy, who's getting spoken to by the referee and getting his name taken. Just to emphasise as well, Paul, 37 teams played in this competition, all 32 counties involved. I mean, you talk about the Dublin-Galway line, but that really knocks that back, because every single county involved, that's fantastic, isn't it?
And some counties, especially in Munster, Leinster, will have 2 teams involved.
Oh, the likes of Cork have about 4.
Yeah, so it's fantastic even for the development of those guys that may never make a Cork minor team or a Kilkenny minor team.
So they're really pressing in every county to make sure they're all represented, so no county can come back and say, well, we weren't involved or we weren't asked or whatever. I mean, it must be immense work behind the scenes to organise all this, to a lot of counties, to convince some counties maybe, here's your opportunity and this is the perfect opportunity for you if you have any interest in hurling at all.
It's massive, and it's, as you say, it's a 32 county. It's a good score there.
Is it? No, it's just gone to the right from Conway Russell. They're still without a score, but that's the closest they've come. But yeah, sorry, keep going. Sorry, you're taking notes as well. You're a good man to have here. You're doing wides and scores. Good man. But yeah, all the counties involved.
It's great, and as I said, it gives maybe players that are slightly weaker from the Corks, Limericks, Kilkennys, Galways of this world, that they will get to put on the county jersey and represent their county at the level that's that they're at.
Yeah, so there's some hurling strongholds, as we say, where players still need opportunities, and there's other areas that, as Michal Marharta famously said, are not hurling strongholds, but they're getting also a great opportunity. I mean, they're combining that all in one competition. That's quite a feat. It's
fantastic, and it gives players a chance to play games, and I can't emphasise enough, players need games to get better, and at all levels. If you're a Kilkenny minor player or Fermanagh Celtic Challenge player, you need games, and you need lots of them to get better and to develop as a hurler.
Dan O'Connor has put that in there, and he's found Tierney, and Tierney's turning and twisting. Referee has his whistle to his mouth but hasn't blown, and eventually he awards the point. That was good advantage by the referee, actually, because there were one or two fouls in there, but eventually Tierney put it over and he just let him go. And things like that, even good refereeing is important, good organisation. Hurlers want to see that it's done right, and it's being done right here today. That comes out into the middle, it spills. First man to it is actually Nathan Cox for Leitrim, but there's Dan O'Connor again. He's been so busy, so lively, so creative, and is he going to get a score at the end of it? Is that just dropped over the bar from Dan O'Connor from Ballyshannon?
Yeah, that looks like a score. Yeah, referee's noting it down, I think. Yeah,
he's been really impressive in the first half so far. In fact, the two wing forwards, James Tierney and Dan O'Connor, have been very, very good.
Two good footballers in their own right, dual players.
Don't you be mentioning football now. This is hurling. But no, seriously, I was going to make that point because Tyrone are playing in the next game, and a lot of the lads are playing are hurlers, or footballers, and they're out a lot of days in the week playing that, but they've got an opportunity here and they're thriving at the hurling because it's such a great opportunity and well organised that they're buzzing in Tyrone for the next final. So yeah, it's a matter of how you combine the whole football hurling thing in a lot of counties, I guess.
It's trying to get the right balance between training and matches, and not having young fellas to make decisions to have to go to a football match today or the hurling match, that kind of thing. And, better scheduling the fixtures would help things as well. That the dual player doesn't die out. That players and young fellas can play both.
But it helps then if the competition like the Celtic Challenge is meaningful, well organised, and people can look at it and say that's worth playing in.
100%.
This is Killian White again in the Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge Corn Tom Hogan Cup final after 25 minutes now. 8 points to no score. Leitrim without a score so far. I wonder will they do better in the second half with a bit of wind advantage. Who knows? We will find out. But this in the meantime is Dan O'Connor. Off he goes again. He's got one lovely score, and look at the speed of him. He goes round two. Is he going for goal? Well, that's one thing Leitrim have avoided this half, is conceding a goal, but O'Connor carries quite a threat, doesn't he?
Fantastic run there. Skinned two defenders, had an eye for the goal. Maybe should have flicked it over a point, would have made it 9-0, so they get the 65 out of it, so they might fit the slot this over, but it's a tight puck from that distance for a young fella.
Just on the live chat, David Roberts says there was also an Ulster Development League played before the Celtic Challenge. He says, well done Ulster for this development. It's a great experience for the lads. Keep it going. Well, that might have been Ulster, but of course this is national now as well. And lots of comments coming in there. There's somebody, Danny Grant in Perth in Australia, watching on. So thanks for those messages coming in on the live chat there on the official GAA YouTube channel as Dan O'Connor lines this one up right in the middle. Didn't reach the last time, even with a bit of a wind advantage. It dropped in and around the 20. He struck this one well, though. That will have the distance, I think, but not the direction, and just goes to the left and wide. And Paul, I'm delighted to say, is adding those up. How many wides is that now, actually, for Fermanagh?
Fermanagh 5 wides.
5 wides and 8 points.
8 points.
whereas the other side, I think, maybe 2 wides.
I think there's 2 wides, yeah.
And one of those trickled, so that shows you where the direction of play has been. And around these areas, as we were saying, Fermanagh very sharp on the one-on-ones. They put the pressure on again, looking for Donald O'Connor, but it goes all the way through instead to Cormac McGreevy, who's moved into full forwards, and that one has just dropped to the left. And that's 6 wides now for Fermanagh, but they have a decent lead, but certainly not an unassailable lead in hurling terms. And Leitrim, even though they haven't scored, will be feeling that they've still got a chance here, and there's plenty of encouragement from the sideline. But hold on, this is Adon Maguire, takes that beautifully, and he's blown for overcarrying. Good pressure from Leitrim, and that will encourage them, as we now are 27 and a half minutes through the first half. So I'm thinking, Paul, I know you're from Fermanagh, but I'm thinking from a Leitrim point of view, they'll be just wanting to get to half time here.
They'll be looking to score, maybe just to settle them down before half time. But yeah, they'll be looking for the dressing room, maybe to change a few things and to get a bit of a chat to the lads, see what's going wrong for them.
It seemed like they arrived a bit late and came out on the pitch a bit late, and yeah, maybe 10 minutes will just settle them down. Beautifully taken by O'Connor again. Well, the O'Connor boys have done well today. The cousins from Ballyshannon and Lisbon on that speed. But the referee, is he going to bring him back? He is. I don't think Dan realises it, but the decision has already been made to bring it all the way back. But he is tormenting Leitrim down that side. Beautiful day here in Ballyshannon. Absolutely perfect. First day of June, of course. Competition that started in 2016, so now the 9th year, and as you were saying, Paul, a lot of players have come through it down the years, and 14 of them playing tomorrow for Fermanagh as well, so long-term benefits as well as short-term.
Massive, like 14 players going to Croke Park tomorrow that played in this competition with a chance to win, you know, an All-Ireland, a national title, and obviously the chance to win an All-Ireland, a national title today as well. So, you know, there is that clear pathway, and that's what players need to see, you know, to come from their clubs to their development squads to the Celtic Challenge, under 20s and then up to senior level, and you know, players want to see that pathway, see 1 minute at a time.
O'Connor puts this very, very high, tricky angle, but he might have got that, you know. No, it's gone to the right and wide. I guess down the years, would it be fair to say that in some counties the likes of footballers might have looked down on the hurling setup and said, well, it's not very professional, and other counties might be the other way around, but this sort of thing, it puts that professional gloss on it, and they can't look at this and say that it's not been done properly.
Well, that's it, and it kind of evens the playing field a wee bit, you know, and it makes young fellas think I can play both as well, you know, if I want to play both.
Yeah, exactly.
That is a viable option, you know. The
dual player is sort of supposed to be on the way out,
yep.
But at this level you can. And I think Tyrone have quite a few dual players coming up in the next game, and that is against Sligo at 2:45, and that's the Corn Jerome O'Leary Cup in the Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge. So that one's coming up on a live stream as well later on. It's O'Connor again, Dan, and is Tierney there in a lot of space. He just couldn't quite take it, but this is Tierney now trying to get around White, but that is not an easy thing to do, and White is penalised, so he'll get a free in, and he gets a tap on the back as well. Good play by him. So coming up to half time, it's 8 points. In fact, we're just in added time at the end of the first half. 8 points to no score, and this could make it 9.
Yeah, a lot of space. James Tierney found himself on his own on the 21 from the free. They took the quick free, and he won his own free off at the end. So
let's see if he can angle this one over straight towards the scoreboard. And is that just to the right? It is, between the far post and the scoreboard. And is that the half-time whistle? It is, from James Callaghan, the Donegal man, refereeing this game, and it's been an entertaining first half, and although it looks very one-sided on the scoreboard, it wasn't quite as one-sided as that, and Leitrim have just about stayed in the game, I feel. Paul, would you agree with that?
I would agree. Obviously not conceding a goal is massive for them. You never know in the second half if Leitrim come out and bang 2 quick goals, they're back in the game, so they'll go in at half time now and maybe make a few changes and get a bit of a chat to them and see where they went wrong.
Well, that's what Leitrim did the last time these two teams met. Leitrim 210, Fermanagh 11 points. So I gather, or I would imagine that that's going to be the warning in there from the Fermanagh management, although the Fermanagh players and management don't look to be going into the dressing room. Leitrim are, but Fermanagh seem to be staying out on the pitch. But they'll be wary from the last time they met.
They definitely will. Obviously, the long range frees haven't just clicked for Leitrim today. That's what gave Fermanagh a bit of trouble in the last game, so they'll definitely keep their eye out for that. But, Fermanagh have had 16 scoring chances. They've scored 8 points. They've hit 8 wides. Leitrim have only had 2 wides. Haven't really mustered up a real decent scoring chance. So that's one thing that Leitrim will be looking to is to see, can they get the ball into the forward to make it stick.
Okay, we'll see when the second half starts. We'll take a break now and be back with that second half, I imagine, in about 6 or 7 minutes' time, right here on the official GAA YouTube channel. We will be back shortly. Fermanagh have stayed out throughout half-time in the hot sun here in Ballyshannon, and now they've got into a huddle. Leitrim, just down below us, are emerging from the tunnel at Father Tierney Park here in Ballyshannon, and just at the edge of the tunnel as well, I see Mr. Ballyshannon, Tom Daly, former Ulster GAA president, and he has been here since early morning, making sure everything runs to like clockwork, and it has done. Very nice welcome here in the club, and up the stairs there was tea and sandwiches for everybody, and everything has been organised. The medals, the cups, were all in position, and they've had people on the gate. It's really been run very, very impressively here, as you would expect in Ballyshannon. Of course, you've Letterkenny and Ballybuffet as well, but Ballyshannon has a terrific setup here now, and maybe they'll be getting more games the way things are going on. And it always helps when the sun's out. Everything looks fantastic, but certainly a lot of work on the infrastructure here and the actual pitch itself. If you're only joining us, the pitch closed for a couple of years, and Mr. Prunty involved there, and it is absolutely superb. I was explaining that the brought sand all the way from Lough Neagh. Imagine bringing sand to Donegal. Donegal people needing sand, but it was a particular type of sand that works well in pitches, and it has worked a treat here because this surface is perfect for hurling for these two Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge finals today. This is the first of them, the Corn Tom Hogan Cup final. Later on, the Corn Jerome O'Leary Cup final. In this one, Fermanagh lead by 8 points to no score, but it's Leitrim in the yellow from right to left as you're watching now in the second half, and they will be looking to get a good fast start to this second half to get a score on the board and maybe use whatever breeze is there in their favour. But it's Fermanagh trying to create something to get a score from left to right, and that would be the first score in the goals over to that side. There was none in the first half, but can Fermanagh get a score? No, that's good strong defending actually by Alex Pollock, number 9 for Leitrim. I don't think he was playing in the first half, I'm not quite sure. There were a lot of changes before the game and a lot of high numbers in there, so maybe he came on at half time. Apologies to him if he did play in the first half. They were certainly under pressure, but there's a good ball in, and it's gone all the way through, but it's well read at the back by the number 4 James Kelly for Fermanagh, but certainly promising for Leitrim. Clearance though goes to a Fermanagh man in a lot of room, and he drills it straight into that full forward area. Now will he get the first score? No, it's well defended. I think it was Donica Dlancy maybe, or was it Donica Higgins? One of the Donicas back there, but Leitrim have managed to repel that. Paul Tague is with me, and Paul, have you got a little bit of tidbit of news for me?
Yeah, so the number 26 is Mr. Shea Quinn. We missed him in the first half, so we've got his name now.
Thank you very much for that, for going down to the Leitrim dugout to get that. So he was playing in the first half, 26 for Leitrim, and now we can see his name. It wasn't in the programme, but he's there actually, as you see, the 26 there, flashing up as he tries to get that ball. A battle won in the end by the number 4 Owen McLaughlin, who has been playing midfield throughout the game, and that's quite a battle he's having with Ben Palmer. And certainly the tails are up from both sides in the second half, and you wouldn't think it was an 8-0 game because these two are going toe for toe in the second half, and it's a better start to the second half for Leitrim than they did in the first half. Now is that 19 in his back away 19, over on that side? It is number 19, and that is James Cullen rather. He was in from the start trying to get away there, but Fermanagh holding it up, and they are going to get a free out. Lively start to the second half, Paul. This is what you want.
This is what I want to see from Leitrim. You know, they need to get into the game. They need a couple of scores to stay in it. So good to see them bring the intensity.
And that one cleared, but the trajectory of the ball quite low. Maybe that's deliberate, and it's worked for them. It's a good strong run as well. Tierney was very good in the first half. Now they've put that into that full forward area, and it's going to be a free out, I think. Or is it a free in, actually? Oh, he's bringing it all the way back out, is he? Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah. Maybe advantage.
Yeah, so was there an illegal?
I think he signalled for a pull on the arm, so.
Right. But when he went in there, you had Killian White there again, and they've obviously placed the big man on the edge of the square there, and he's one of the main reasons why there's been no goals in there.
It's been a good battle between Killian White and Cormac McGreevy. It's been good to watch.
Now, I'm looking at the tricolour over directly behind the goals at the end. He's aiming for, and it's not really fluttering that violently. It's coming up a little bit now, so there's a bit of wind. It's sort of coming across. He'd need to aim for the post nearest to him, I think. Has he got it?
That's fair. That's over, I think.
Well, he judged it absolutely perfectly.
Fantastic score.
That's the first score at that end. That was more difficult, I think, than it looked. 9 points to no score for Fermanagh. This is Oren Smith, joint captain from Carrick. He gives it plenty. Way down to the right. Oisin Morris was underneath it, but Leitrim, some very determined play, and it's Fermanagh's turn. They were having to defend more in the first 5 minutes of the second half than they did for most of the first half. Now, what's the referee given there? Was there a hook there?
There was a slap down of the Hurley on Michael Cleary, number 2, coming out for Fermanagh.
He's been good as well at the back.
Michael's been very good. When the ball's come into him, he's been very good. He's hoovered up well there and come out strong with it. So,
yeah, Mike Cleary from Lisbon, the number 2 then for Fermanagh. But they're certainly under a little bit more pressure in the second half. That's well played into Tierney, and he takes it beautifully in the left hand, but then spills it. But another was it another chop?
A flick of the hurl onto the hurl, which you can't do.
Yeah, Leitrim being a little bit sloppy there. That's a couple of given away.
2 silly frees really for Leitrim. You know, to stay in this game, they're going to need to cut them out. It's simple. It's simple scores for Fermanagh, because Dan O'Connor seems to be on fire today with these frees, tapping them over.
Just a bit of discipline, isn't it?
Discipline, yeah. Need a bit of discipline, yeah, just to get back into the game. Just steady the ship a wee bit.
But maybe it's just that the half time they got a talking to, and they're just a bit too keen.
That could be it too. Trying to bring the intensity up, you can kind of over ratchet that a wee bit too.
So feel free to leave a message on the live chat there on the official GAA YouTube channel as we watch that one go wide.
Commentator's court.
Exactly. And we have another game after this, Tyrone against Sligo. We'll be in a separate stream, and 2 more streams tomorrow as well. 6 finals in all this weekend in the Electric Ireland Challenge Cup. 37 teams from 32 counties involved, and we're down to the last 6 finals. This is Dan O'Connor. This is super play by him, and he's still going. And eventually he is stopped, but he's still trying to get it back. Leitrim looking to clear their lines. He's gone to ground and he's got his free.
He's done really well there. I can't see his number from here, but he's done really well. He got the ball, shot a couple of tackles, and won his free. So Killian White hopefully can send this long now.
But the Fermanagh forwards have been going for goal all day, and they've been running as much as they can at the defence anytime they get it. I like the way they play. You know, they've got ambition there. You know, they're going for it every time, and they're not afraid to sort of show their skills and get the ball and go, as we're maybe going to get another example now. He's going to put it in there. That was Maguire looking in there, and that's that battle you were talking about again. But that fella Killian White is really hard to get past. This now is Donegal Higgins for Leitrim. It's more an end-to-end game in this second half, isn't it, Paul?
Definitely a lot more movement to slip now both ends.
Fermanagh just edging it in the second half. 1 point to no score. That's Palmer. Leaves it off, and that should be first score of the second half from play, and it's Tierney again, as Leitrim look to make a couple of changes. So they've had, 7 minutes of the second half? 22 and 21 coming on for Leitrim. 22 is Barry O'Hara and 21 is Jack Edwards. 26 has come off, and we just found out his name and he comes off. And number 11 is Ryan Dlancy. So Leitrim making a couple of changes, and to be fair, why not at this point?
Yeah, they need to try something different to get back into this game. Still haven't scored. We've played 37 minutes of hurling, so.
Well, great block down. I suppose they've put a couple of lads in, one right into the full forward area and one out around half forward or maybe midfield. They're trying to get the ball to stick when it goes in there. That's been the problem. It hasn't stuck. This is Tierney again, turning one side and then the other, and as this goes over, this could be the score of the game, I think, and it does. That's brilliant.
Brilliant score. Just threw it up over his shoulder, slung it over. Fantastic score from James Tierney.
Oren Smith sends it well into Fermanagh territory, but Owen McManus is there for Fermanagh. Good strong challenge though by the man who has just come in. That is Jack Edwards for Leitrim, getting stuck in, and there's him again. That's Edwards with a little bit of help from Aaron Gallagher, and they're certainly giving it everything, and they just need to get on the board at this stage. And that one is McLaughlin. Oh, and the keeper misjudged that one slightly. It jumped up on him, and there was a forward coming in as well. And Leitrim are not lying down, Barry. Or Paul, sorry.
Yeah, it looks to be a 65 here. Might have hit the goalkeeper no way. But no, Leitrim brought a bit of intensity.
Oh, it definitely come off his hurl, I think.
I think it come off him, so. But Leitrim brought the intensity. They're not letting Fermanagh walk out with it like they did in the first half, so they need to build on that now and maybe get a few scores on the board.
Well, even for pride at this point, they need to get a score here.
They need to get a score. Definitely need to get a score. Maybe this could change things with Killian White here from the 65.
Yeah, the fullback has come up now. The difference this half, he has a bit of wind behind him. Maybe if he aims for the post towards the scoreboard, it might drift in. If he gets an, oh, he's drilled that. He's given it plenty. Has it gone over? And that gets a great round of applause from the Leitrim crowd. A little bit of ironic applause from them, but they're delighted to see them on the board. Leitrim have their first point of the day, and it had to be White.
And he stayed out for the puck out. He's still in the middle of the field. He hasn't went back.
You would, wouldn't you? You'd fancy it. I think that's Conway Russell who was trying to get it in there, but Fermanagh have repelled that, so that's what the game needed too. Let's see if it leads to another score for Leitrim. That's Palmer. He's been working hard. He has worked hard all day long, but this is Leitrim coming away. A little bit of foot play, but intercepted in the end. But Leitrim getting a lot of encouragement now from their supporters. They have raised the level themselves. It's good play though by Ronan Brennan again, but the referee says the second time it wasn't. Free in, another chance.
Yeah, good initial block from Ronan Brennan, but he just chopped down on him then and at the second phase of play. Yeah. So,
well, the big fella's gone back to fullback. He's now gone back.
Different free taker now this time, maybe?
They don't need him for this one, and he's gone a little bit further back. Dylan Owens is looking for a shout out to the man on the scoreboards. Okay, you've just got it. Gives me another chance to mention as this one goes over and makes the scoreboard tick over for a second point to Leitrim from Isaac Conway Russell, the number 14, that the scoreboards is from Casement Park. Tom Daly the connection obviously, and they bought it from Casement where it wasn't being used, so it's come from one side of the country to the other. More encouragement. That's Pádraig Toner putting it in there, and it just drops in front of the keeper, but there's pressure on the keeper as well. Leitrim really raising the levels of intensity here, and here is McLaughlin, number 4. He's looking for the sub who came in, Jack Edwards. But Leitrim 2 points now from frees in a row, getting it back to 11-2, but that's well cleared by Palmer. I was talking a minute ago about how well that he has played. This is Aidan Maguire, wearing 21 but started the game. Fermanagh looking to get a score for themselves after 2 in a row for Leitrim. The crowd really invested in this game now. They'd love Leitrim to get a goal or so, but I think that's going to be a free in and a chance for Fermanagh to score. But yeah, 22 coming on now for Fermanagh as well. Sean McAvoy from Enniskillen coming into the play. I've been impressed by Palmer. What about you?
Ben Palmer's been brilliant. He's really worked hard in the middle of the field. The midfield for Fermanagh have really worked hard, got on a lot of ball, stopped a lot of attacks, swept up, so they've done their jobs really well today.
I mean, it's easy to pick out the forwards, but he's done a lot of work in the engine room.
He's done a lot of work between the 265s. He's been great.
And it's those sort of challenges that have dictated the game as well, because they've just won so many of them and kept the pressure on. And there is a point for Fermanagh, taking it to 12-2. And we have now played 42.5 minutes of the second half, and the first 12.5 minutes have flown by.
Yeah, Leitrim have brought their game now, so it should be an interesting finish.
Exactly, yeah, we're in danger of the game going away from Leitrim, but they've kept it interesting. And Tierney again, how many times has he done that today? He's got a great left hand and he takes it on the run, then goes on to the right. Oh my goodness. And it is James Tierney from Enniskillen in Father Tierney Park in Ballyshannon with a terrific goal, the first goal of the Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge Corn Tom Hogan Cup final, and that could just about seal it for them.
Fantastic catch, turned his man and just a bullet to the net. No keeper would have stopped it in Ireland, I don't think. Fantastic goal.
Well, if we're talking about best players, and I mentioned Palmer, Dan O'Connor is in there, but James Tierney for me, maybe it's because the place is named after Tierney, but he's played extremely well and he's got to be the contender. I know it's not a Player of the Match award, there's a best and fairest, which I would imagine that you're in support of and you like the idea behind that.
It's a fantastic initiative, best and fairest, great name for it.
Do you want to explain it for people who don't understand or know what it's about?
It's not necessarily the best player. The clues in the name is best and fairest. So it's playing hurling within the spirit of the game as much as anything. So it's a great award. So
it's not necessarily the guy who scores 1-6.
Exactly, yeah.
That's Joe McGoldrick. He's done well at midfield as well, but that's going to be easy for the goalkeeper Oran Smith to clear his lines, and he does. But it's going straight back to Fermanagh. Brennan is available, not required though. And it comes again. Fermanagh looking for another score. They now lead 1-12-2, and that was a good response to the 2 points at the other end with a point of their own and a goal. So Fermanagh just re-emphasising their superiority. Tierney is there as well, but so is White. But it's starting to be one-way traffic again after that little bit of a revival from Leitrim. Tierney, I love the way when he takes the ball, he sort of takes it in one movement and is already on the attack as soon as he takes it.
As soon as he's the ball in his hand, he knows what he's doing next, so fantastic. But I see the Fermanagh midfield and half-backs have pushed up here, so they're trying to put the screw on Leitrim here, not let them out.
Yeah, they're just killing them off again, they're just killing the game. They seem to have more players on the pitch. It's one of those sort of games, they've just lifted it. This is Owen McManus, number 5. He's had a good game as well, you know.
Fermanagh half-back line, the Fermanagh half-back line, midfield half-forward, that middle third they've really propelled Fermanagh to the position they're in. Oh, that's a great touch from Sean McAvoy.
Beautifully taken, and he leaves it off as well. That's really good skill in close quarters. And it's ended up in a free in as well, but that was all about Barry O'Hara, wasn't it?
Sean McAvoy.
Or sorry,
Sean McAvoy,
that's the other 22, Sean McAvoy.
Sean McAvoy, just the touch, the turn and the layoff, fantastic. Great speed of thought.
Was going to take it as well there, but he was told no, you're only
confidence is up.
Yeah, those are mine. I've been doing this all day long, says Dan. So a really entertaining second half, and we're already in the last quarter of it. 1-12-2. Fermanagh in charge, but Leitrim really giving him everything. As O'Connor puts it over easily enough, 113-3. So I don't think there's an awful lot of doubt about the outcome now, but Leitrim have shown, as most teams of under 17 will, they're not going to lie down. They're just going to keep plugging away to the end, disregarding almost the scoreboard. That one batted down, but only as far as White, who's come away from that full back area. Now that is a broken hurl, I would imagine, and a clash of the ash on that far side ends with
a throw in, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be, but that was
fantastic
definitely
block. Fantastic
new hurl
block,
needed there.
Yeah, fantastic block. Yeah, shown great bravery, and that's been Fermanagh all day, just closing down, working really hard. So yeah, that hasn't stopped.
You'd need a bit of courage, all right, going up against that giant of a man.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
You'll take that. That's a badge of honour, is it? A broken hurl?
That is, yeah. But if it's your good hurl, you nearly have a funeral for it.
I know. He'll have a couple more on the sideline, but that'll be the one.
That'll be the one.
He'll want to get that fixed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that'll want to be fixed. That's not fixable. No chance. It's White again. Well inside his own half, but he's going to drop this in and around the house, isn't he?
Leitrim need to make this stick now.
Oh, he's got it up the middle. That is dangerous. It might go all the way. Oh, it's gone to the left. If he'd have got that in target, it might have been dangerous. But do you know what? He had nearly the distance in that.
Good strike of a ball. Great strike of a ball.
113 plays, 2. Nearly 48 minutes played. Fermanagh against Leitrim. 2024 Celtic Challenge, Electric Ireland. Corn Tom Hogan Cup final here in Father Tierney Park. And this is Sean McAvoy from Enniskillen. He only came on a few minutes ago and he's done very well, and the keeper has done even better.
Good goalkeeping, kept his eye on it.
Absolutely. That is the joint captain Oran Smith, and he's a big reason why there's only been one goal. Well, he had no chance with the goal that went in, but he's done very well otherwise, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But that is another point for Fermanagh, 114 to 2.
Just unfortunate for Leitrim, the clearances just seem to be going straight to a Fermanagh jersey, and they're just popping them over now.
Yeah, they're just not winning the duels up around here when the ball goes over, and sharpest and first to it is Oisin Morris from Ballyshannon, and they're just not getting enough ball in these sort of areas to have consistent pressure. You do get possession though, and that one played in. This is a little bit intricate, but good pressure, but the Fermanagh defence has been terrific. They haven't conceded a score from play in the entire game, and they might be able to see that out, but Leitrim trying to do something about it, and they have a man over here as well if they can get it in. Indeed. Not able to take it though, and it will be Fermanagh clearing the lines again. Good attempt at the block though, and it's Conway Russell who's going for it under pressure from McGoldrick. And Fermanagh inevitably almost managed to clear the lines, and that's a good clearance as well cross fields by Palmer. This is Morris. 21 is Maguire, on from the start of the game. Goes all the way through, and I think that's one of the substitutes, and he strikes it really well and puts it over the bar, and it's another nice score, and it is well taken by the man from Nave Edon, Dara Donegan. 115 to 2.
Man, the subs have made an impact too. Sean McAvoy's come on and made a nuisance of himself, and Dara Donegan's out for scoring, so man, the subs have done well.
They've kicked on, haven't they, since Leitrim got their 2 points. This is Conway Russell for Leitrim. Trying once, not twice, 3 times. Good determined play by the full forward, and has he got it over? Well, it's gone just to the left. I thought they'd got their first score from play.
Hard luck.
It was hard luck.
Fantastic run.
Determination. That's what I was saying about these lads at this level. It's almost like they forget the scoreboard. They just keep going and going.
Keep plugging away. That's all you can do. That's all Leitrim do now. Just keep plugging away.
Porrick Toner is number 2 there for Leitrim. But lots of room here in the middle of the field for Joe McGoldrick from the Knox Grantons Club. Lots of grass to move into. He sees McLaughlin or Hagan or White coming over and thinks, okay, I'll leave this off. And he ends with a free for Fermanagh. Another sub being brought in by the Erne County.
Niall Smith from Enniskillen, I think.
It is, number 23. So they're trying to give everyone a game, and that again is in the spirit of the competition, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah. They can afford to do that now, bring on a few players and see the game out.
Well, they've 24, and they've already brought on 3, maybe 4 subs, so they'll be wanting to give them all a bit of game time.
Nice to play in a final as well, especially.
Exactly. I think they're safe on the scoreboard. O'Connor gives that a lower one. Ooh. Well watched by Smith, and he batted it away. And that wasn't an easy one, but put over by Tierney. So if there was a traditional player of the match, it'd probably be Tierney, wouldn't it?
Tierney or Dan O'Connor. Between the two of them, they've both been fantastic scoring. Also, they're the first line of defence when Leitrim have the ball. They're hassling, harrying, hooking, blocking, so they've both been fantastic. So hard to choose between them.
It's funny, it's a bit of a contradiction. We always talk about player of the match, that kind of thing, but you know, although they like it, they also are very keen to say it's a team game, obviously, and the likes of the defence don't always get as many mentions as they could, but they've been so strong, that half back line in particular that you were talking about, along with the likes of Mike Cleary in there, they've been so good for Fermanagh. They've just let nothing through.
Half back line has been fantastic. Ronan Brennan's been sweeping up. He's commanded his back line very well today. As you say, Michael Cleary and James Kelly, the 2 cornerbacks, have been great anytime the ball's come into them.
And that was Palmer created that one. He went for goal there, didn't he?
Surely, yeah.
He did, and it just went over. But that was brilliantly created by Palmer again. The way he took that and passed it, that was a lovely little play in close quarters. And again, I've just been so impressed by him. He really is a silky player in there.
Fantastic, yeah. They didn't let the bad sideline cut. They didn't let it die. They worked it in, and another day I could have been top corner. So.
Do you look at the pass that he played there?
Yeah,
it was right to hand.
Yeah, fantastic, and that's it leaves it easier for the receiver there.
Took it on his right, moved on to his left. I mean, that's great skill. As Leitrim now look to make 3 changes, so they're going to give lads a game from their bench as well. I'll pick those up in a second, but let's look at the play, because this man came in 5 or 6 minutes ago. That's Jack Edwards, and he's done well again there. He certainly brought something, and he's put it in there. The goalkeeper has work to do here, and he does that work well. That's Joey Britton.
That's great goalkeeping. He commanded it, came out big and strong, took the ball, nice pass up the field. Now Fermanagh are 60 metres other end.
And I see Donica Higgins is trying his best to stop Tierney, and he has stopped him, but illegally.
Chopped down.
Yeah, he's been the danger, and they've just tried to get at him. So Leitrim looking at 3 subs here, and it looks like they're going to bring on 7. That's Shay Feely, who clearly didn't start the game. 20 is Owen Conway, and the other one is number 10, and that is Nathan Stewart for Leitrim. So those 3 fellas about to come into the play after we have this free. 1:17 plays 2:54 minutes gone, and we will, by the way, be staying on at the end to bring you the presentation, which will be down to the right here. That one's high, and it looks good to me, and indeed it is good. 1:18. What was it at half time? Was it 9 at half time? 8?
Yeah, 8. So
I mean, that's good scoring by Fermanagh, you know.
110 and short space of time, fantastic.
That's 9 points in each half. I mean, that's good consistent play.
Yeah.
Good consistent scoring. And how many wides?
9 wides. So they've had a fair amount of scoring chances. And good few goal chances too, at least 4.
Yeah.
Scored one of them, so
Oren Smith's been very good for Leitrim. I mean, there's a few there that could easily have dropped in. He caught one, he hit one, batted it down with the boss of his hurl. You know, he's done very, very well, and that's Tierney taking points. How many's he got now? Are you taking him individually now? Must be 5 or 6.
I'm going to have to start because that's he's
and the goal.
He's been fantastic.
He really has. That one might come all the way through, and it does. And it's Edwards. This hasn't happened too often, but look how quickly Fermanagh close him down. But it's an illegal challenge by Palmer.
We're pushing the back.
Yep. Free in, and this is a good opportunity. The big fella's not coming up for it though. It's going to be Donegal Delancey instead, and you're probably tempted at this point to put it in and around the goal rather than going for a point. He's shaping that way, I think. 119 plays 2, may as well put it in there.
See what happens.
Remember, no scores and plays. Actually, he is going for his point, and he's
put
put it really over really well and judged that beautifully. So I got that completely wrong. I thought he was shaping as if he was just going to try and put it in there, but he nailed it. 119 plays 3. Sub coming on for Fermanagh. 17 is Tiernan Quinn from Ballyshannon, and he comes on for Maguire. Maguire played very well. On from the start, even though he wore 21, played the whole game up to now. That's Ronan Brennan, the Fermanagh captain. He's going to be getting his hands on the Electric Ireland Corn Tom Hogan Cup up beside us very shortly. And we'll also be able to see the presentation of the best and fairest player today as well. And that's well taken by the substitute Barry O'Hara for Leitrim. And off he goes.
Great tackle by James Kelly, last hitch challenge, robbed the ball.
What did he do there? Because that happened so quickly, I didn't even see it.
The Leitrim player went to solo and he just brought the hurl in and slapped it down on him.
Will this be the first score from play? And it is from Owen McLaughlin, the number 4 for Leitrim. It's taken until the last 3 minutes of the game, but Leitrim have their first score from play now, and that's their second in a row. And they're sending in another sub. 23 is Jake Charles. Or is that Charles? He's come in for Leitrim from Carrick. From Leitrim. And he's from Carrick, yeah. 18 has come off. That's Regan Joy. So it's just about emptied both benches now. 119 plays 4. Last couple of minutes. That's great play. He came out of that ruck, and look at the speed. My goodness, that's terrific from Dan O'Connor at this stage of the game in this heat, and he's still going and just didn't have the finish.
Fantastic turn of pace, just burned everybody. There was a goal on, maybe if you got his head up. Dara Donnelly was making a wee back post run there. So
yeah, absolutely. 18, look at Tracy about to come in for Fermanagh. He's from Enniskillen. Another change for them for the last couple of minutes. And the instruction coming in from Cyril Dunn, Fermanagh manager. Minute and a half to go of normal time. Man making way there, James Kelly from Ballyshannon, number 4 for Fermanagh. This is Brennan from Kinawley, and right up the middle, Cormac McGreevy's Kinawley and Matthew Ferguson Kinawley as well. Chance here for Leitrim, maybe they get in behind. Nope, door closed again by that tough Fermanagh full back line. Or is that, who was that? I'm trying to get a number. Was that 17? 17 for Fermanagh. It was the man who just came in there. Tierney Quinn did very well. We're going to have 1 extra minute. And as I say, we will be staying on for the presentation of the Best and Fairest Award and the Cup. And then we'll close this stream and come back with another one. And that will be the Tyrone Sligo game, which starts at 2:45. We'll come on there about 20 to 3 or around there. Dan O'Connor on his left this time, gets it in. Is there going to be a good finish here? Oh, a lovely little turn as well. Oh. Goes all the way across. Oh, it just goes wide. Could have been, should have been a goal, but the goalkeeper, it would have been harsh on him.
It would have been harsh.
He's done that well today, and it would have been a sickener for a trickler.
It would have.
To go in there. 119 plays 4. Just about to go into that last minute of added time. And little bit of ill discipline right at the end.
Frustration.
Yeah. That has not been in the way that the game is played. Fermanagh for the last minute, sending in Adam McCaffrey from Nave Iran, and again, as you say, just to send in all the subs and for him to say, well, I played in that final.
Yeah, played in the final. It's nice to say it.
Good refereeing as well there. You know, we didn't make a meal of that and just
frustration. We all go through frustration. Yeah.
I mean, you forget sometimes. These are young lads.
Young lads, 16, 17.
Big occasion and just a bit of frustration. Now this will drop in and around, or do you think he'd get it over from there?
He may drop it around the house, or make sure it goes dead.
I think he's going for the point, but if it drops in, all the better. But it's gone to the left, and anyway, the referee.
Square ball, is it?
Yeah. This might be it, you know.
This might be it.
Referee, you can tell by where he's standing on the pitch here, he's going to blow this. He hasn't bothered to go out around the middle. And there indeed is the final whistle on the 2024 Electric Ireland Corn Tom Hogan Cup final, and a big generous round of applause from the Fermanagh supporters and the players from the bench, all running on, and they are delighted. They have won this. They've won an All-Ireland.
They won All-Ireland, won a national title. Fantastic experience for these young men. They'll talk about it for the rest of their lives, guaranteed. So well done to Fermanagh and hard luck to Leitrim. And
they thoroughly, obviously, deserved it, so you can see on the scoreboard. But performance-wise, how do you think Fermanagh did?
I think Fermanagh brought their complete performance today. You know, they didn't let Leitrim play. They defended from the front. They took their scoring chances, and they defended extremely well. Their half-back line, midfield, half-forward line really won that game today for Fermanagh. So well done to them.
And if you consider that they met a few weeks ago and it was Leitrim won it 2-10 to 11, Fermanagh have improved a lot. Where were the improvements?
They were missing their 2 dual players that day, and them 2 made the difference today. James Tierney and Dan O'Connor, they were immense, as was the whole team, but those 2 were the standout performers, and you can see that, you know, just by the scores, the defending, taking the chances, Fermanagh were just fantastic today.
Yeah, Tierney was excellent, wasn't he? He got the goal and about 5, 6, maybe 7 points even, and O'Connor with his running, and they were the 2 wing half forwards.
They were 2 danger men, you know, backed up by, you know, a great hard working midfield and a very strong back line, and the cornerbacks were fantastic as well, and obviously the battle with Cormac McGreevy and the fullback for Leitrim, Killian White, that was good to watch as well. So look, it was a fantastic game.
And what are the benefits of taking this competition extremely seriously, which is exactly what Fermanagh have done? I mean, apart from the fact there's 14 lads who have played in this competition down the years playing at Croke Park tomorrow, I suppose this keeps the production line going.
Keeps the production line going. Winning breeds winning, Jerome. You know, these boys have tasted, you know, national glory now, so they'll be looking to build on that, you know, as they get older. And as I keep saying, there's a pathway for them now to reach the Fermanagh senior hurling team. So, you know, as I keep saying, these boys will be talking about this for the rest of their lives, winning this Celtic Challenge and the memories that they'll have. And I played in that game, and I did this and I did that. So fantastic. Well done to Fermanagh.
The Ulster Council President, Kieran McLaughlin, who is also the National Vice President and has served his time with the hurling board as well, in our hurling position rather. He is going to make the presentation. He's just over to the right here. He has the medals and the cup, and here he's about to speak now.
Thank you to our referee James and his team for their work today. Great to see James getting the game coming up there and doing well. A competitive game, lads, for Leitrim. Try to keep the effort that you put into your games. Keep sustaining the games in Leitrim and making sure some of these characters continue to come through, and on the running and the seniors. To the Ballyshannon club for putting together the game today at such a fine facility. And great to see some of the visitors here from America. Big round of applause for all those visitors. Just for two, Joe McGoldrick, where's Joe? The first and finest player, they tell me, where are you? And then just the captain team, Hogan under Don Corn, Tom Hogan, Ronnie, our captain, Ronan Brennan from Fermanagh.
Player's been directed for the photograph and told to get into position. And there's the magic moment for Fermanagh. And a few messages coming in on the live chat on the official GAA YouTube channel that are quite appropriate as well. Patrick Delaney says St Michael's and Enniskillen won Ulster under 15 halves this year. There's great work going on in St Aidan's Derry Lynn. Great sign of the future for Fermanagh hurler. And Sean Bond says James Tierney is a lovely hurler, a credit. And Paul Tague, you be a happy Fermanagh man today, and happy with those comments as well.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, them boys should be proud of themselves and their clubs that they came from, and all the hard work that's been done from they were small kids. So, you know, credit to their clubs as well.
And tomorrow, Croke Park. What do you think?
Big day in Croke Park. You know, it'll be a tough game, but I think Fermanagh will be definitely very confident that they can go and get the job done.
So a good day for Fermanagh. They've all got their medals, or some of them have. Others are still getting theirs from Kieran McLaughlin. And it's been a lovely day so far, and it's going to continue. Glad to say, here in Donegal at Father Tierney Park in Ballyshannon. 2024 Electric Ireland Celtic Challenge, Corn Tom Hogan Cup Final. A comprehensive win for Fermanagh, who are going down to the bench where it all started before the game to get their photograph taken. And has to be said, in wrapping up, Paul Tague, that they got it right from the start. You know, they were here early. They came out, they did their warm-up properly. It was a very professional setup, and they played the way they prepared.
Yep, you know, people live and die by the words "field to prepare to field." So, you know, Fermanagh came early. They warmed up well. They brought their A game, had their heads clued in. So, you know, they'll be happy with how today has gone, and these young fellas will be looking to build on their futures anyway. And, you know, so a lot of these guys, there's maybe 3 or 4 of them are underage next year as well. So, you know, they'll be going into the next year's Celtic Challenge with a medal around their neck and confidence as well, which is a big thing. Every player needs confidence, so well done to them.
Absolutely. Well said, Paul Tague. Thank you very much for joining us on the commentary. We will be back with another live stream. What time is it now? Nearly 3:15, with another one at 2:15. There's another one at 2:45. So there'll be another live stream free to view on the official GAA YouTube channel. That's Tyrone against Sligo in the Electric Ireland Corn Jerome O'Leary Cup. So that will be coming up. So we'll get a little bit of a breather here. I'm just looking at the parents, paparazzi out there with their phones taking the picture and recording the moment. And the team, as you say, they'll remember these boys or this achievement for the rest of their lives with these boys, and Kieran McLaughlin getting in on the act as well. He's a Fermanagh man in there today, isn't he? But he's here. He'll be hoping Tyrone win the night, and of course he's a Tyrone man. And the photographer in there making sure she gets all the right snaps done. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We've enjoyed bringing it to you, and we've another one coming up. But for now, from myself and Paul and the rest of the team from sunny Ballyshannon, it's goodbye.